Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforLove.com. The other day I was having a conversation with one of the members of our GPS for Love community, and she basically came out and said, Joe, I'm just too nice. And I'm like, what does that mean? Now, I get it because there was a time in my life where I was told that I was too nice. I had several of my friends in college who were female, would just say, Joe, you're just one of those nice guys, and some girls don't like those nice guys. And you know what? It just never made sense to me. So I was having this conversation with this woman the other day, and she was telling me, I'm just too nice. I said, can you tell me what that means? And basically what she was saying is that, I give, 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 and give, but I don't get back in return. And so what I believe is there's a difference between being too nice and being a human doormat. Because I don't personally believe a person can be too nice. Let's look at that. Don't you want to be with someone who's nice? Don't you want to be with someone who treats you well? Don't you want to be with someone who goes above and beyond to give you the love, honor, and respect that you desire and deserve? Now, if that's your definition of too nice and you can't respect someone like that, that's fine. But that's the kind of person that I want to be with. So there's a difference, though, between a person who's a human doormat, a person who gives, 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 and doesn't get back in return. And there's reasons for that. So today we're going to talk about the 3 signs that let you know that you're not too nice, you're a human doormat. So the first one is that you have poor boundaries. And what do I mean by that is you're not clear on your lines in the sand. Now, you may not have any, or you have them, or you think that you have them, but you don't hold them. Now, you've seen people like this. It's like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. He's disrespected me the last time. And the guy goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll never do it again. And the woman goes, oh, okay. I forgive you. And then 2 days later, he does it again. And she's like, that's it. I'm done. This time I mean it. And he goes, I'm sorry. I was caught up at late, or, I had to do this, or I had to do that, or my cell phone battery died. Or, his typical line of bullshit. And it was like, oh, okay. And then she lets him cross the lines in the sand again. So if you have poor boundaries, you don't have them or you don't hold them, it's not that you're too nice. It's that you're a human doormat. The second sign is that you're afraid to hold a guy accountable on his BS. Kind of like we just talked about, is the guy says, you know what, my cell phone battery died. Now look, I totally believe that in this thing called life, things happen. Cell phone batteries die, we get called into work, we can't be reached for some reason, we forget, whatever it may be. I've done that many, many times in my life. But the difference between a man and a boy is a man holds himself accountable and says, you know what, I screwed up. You know what? I should have called and I didn't, and I'm sorry. But you need to hold a man accountable. See, there's a difference between standing in your power and being a bitch. Being a bitch is, where were you? What do you did? Blah, blah, blah. And, just chirping and just harping on a guy. And the guy's like, wait a minute, I'm just someone on this journey doing the best I can. And I screwed up and I'll own it. And if I hurt you, I'll completely clean it up. That's what a good, healthy, emotionally available guy does. But you don't want to chirp on a guy. You don't want to it's not like a dog. You want to put his nose in his crap, but you just want to shine light that, when you did that, that wasn't cool. That hurt me. That affected me. And a good, healthy, emotionally available guy will understand that and he will own it. So you got to be willing to have those conversations to hold the guy accountable. And the biggest thing is you can't make excuses for him. Okay. If you find yourself where you're constantly making excuses, or you're rationalizing, justifying, or blaming somebody or something else other than what's really at fault, then it's a telltale sign that you're not holding a guy accountable. And usually you're not holding yourself accountable, again, because of those poor boundaries. Now, the third sign that you tend to be a human doormat, and it's not that you're not too nice, it's that you have a history of one-way relationships. You have a history where you give, 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 and usually give even more than Mother Teresa, and yet you don't get back in return. Ultimately, what happens is you wind up settling for less than you deserve. And again, you make excuses for it. Now, these 3 signs that we talked about, and I really want you to go back, look at this, and really own and say, hey, what, I do 1, I do 2, or maybe all 3, because the truth shall set you free. It's about owning your power. But there's reasons behind this. And that's what we try and do here at GPS for Love. Not just give you the surface stuff and go, oh, these are the 3 signs for this, the 2 signs for it, but to understand why. Why is it that I don't hold my boundaries? Why is it that I don't hold the guy accountable? Why is it that I have a history of these one-way relationships? Now, if you want to blame it on poor luck or, God, the universe, or because you don't have a big enough vision board, that's your prerogative. But I believe it's because you're doing things that you unknowingly don't realize are working against you. So I believe the reasons behind all this, if we're going to go deeper, is that there are basically two. The first one is that you simply believe you're not enough. Okay? Now, you may not be good enough, you may not be attractive enough, you may not be fit enough, you may not be intelligent enough, your boobs may not be big enough, your ass may be too big, whatever it may be. There's something going on underneath the surface on the unconscious level where you believe you're not good enough. And that's what causes you to not hold your boundaries. That's what causes you to not have these conversations. And that's what causes you to go into relationships where you choose to settle. Okay? Now, that's the first reason. Now, the second reason is that you believe or you fear that you won't find the love that you're really looking for. And so ultimately, you wind up settling. See, because it's better to have some love than no love. It's better to have a guy in your life, even if he's a jerk, even if he's selfish, even if he's emotionally immature and unavailable, than it is to have no one. And I know logically that makes no sense, right? Because you're going to go, well, who would do that? But look at your behavior. Emotionally, unconsciously, it's true. So as long as you believe on some level that you're not good enough, or that you won't find the love that you're really looking for, then you're going to keep making choices and decisions that put yourself in relationships that lead to less than you deserve. I believe you'll settle for crumbs instead of going for the whole cake. Now, please understand, this doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you need to be fixed. It means that you're simply doing things in the wrong way. And that's what we try to get to here at GPS for Love, is to help you understand what's really going on so you can get to the truth, make some little changes that will ultimately allow you to have the relationship you desire and deserve. So, no, this was a lot. No, this is one of those heavy videos. But, again, we want to get to the truth here because ultimately the goal, the intention is to help you have that awesome, amazing relationship with a guy who loves, honors, and respects you and gives you the relationship that you deserve. So what I want to do is ask you to take some mirror time, really look at this video and really process it and see what comes up for you. Take some mirror time and say, which of these three signs do I have? Is it true, maybe, that I don't love myself enough? Is that I don't believe I'm good enough? Or am I afraid that I won't find the love that I really want? Because that's the work that needs to be done. When you find that, you focus on that and make those quick changes, that's what ultimately leads to that great, awesome, and amazing relationship. So go ahead, take your mirror time, put your question, comments, and feedback in the box below. As always, honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.